Well, good morning, everybody. It is, let me turn that down. That might help out. Good morning, everybody. It's Joey Wilcoxon here. Joey Wilcoxon here with Bullfrog Radio. Hey, it is a crisp Monday morning in the fall. It is definitely football weather is in full effect. You see my chair next to me is empty. Coaches are behind me on the field getting their morning practice in. I just wanted to get on here a little bit early. I know I said put out we're going to be on 8:15, running kind of 10 minutes after that. I was kind of just waiting on the coaches. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off, kind of just talk to you guys a little bit. This district's unfolding and looking like, as well as what the Bullfrogs had to look forward to this week, or what we all have to look forward to this week. If I could get the words out, maybe, just every morning you need a little bit of the chick. So let's get right to it. So last week the Bullfrogs they were defeated 63-28. And I always say that the score doesn't tell a story, and you'll probably hear me say that a few times this morning as I talk to the coaches. But anyways, so the big deal on Friday night to start the game off, and I can't wait to hear what Coach Welch has to say about it, was that opening kickoff at the Bullfrogs did a pooch kick, and the ball was caught by Isaiah Hall. Caught. Yeah, that's right. I said it. He caught it, the kickoff. Kid's got amazing speed, ran down, nobody in the vicinity of the player, but yet still they threw a flag and called it kick catcher interference. Josh, I hope I got that right. Kick catcher interference, which normally you see whenever someone waves for a fair catch and somebody gets in the halo zone or anything like that. Normally that's kind of what you see. And so, I don't even have to say any more. The man comes to sit down next to me, and we're going to get right into it. I was just getting them warmed up there, getting them warmed up and getting them going. So, good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Doing good. Going good. How you doing?
Doing good. Nice little crisp morning out here.
It's a little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly. So I was just getting off into it. Unfortunate loss this last Friday, but I think everybody has been, just tuning in and really just checking out, wanting to know definitely what your takes are just from get-go from the game, from that kickoff.
I think we got 3 consecutive weeks here that have been playing good people and good competition, and there's a lot of ways to look at it. We look at it as a chance to get better and play against good teams and get ourselves to be a better football team and get where we need to be. And I thought Decatur was very, very physical outside at receivers. It's hard to in practice, it's hard to demonstrate, get a good look at exactly the speed and the size and the physicality that somebody like that has outside. And we knew they were a good screen game. They're going to throw that quick screen game, and they did a very good job of that against us. And I thought our kids played hard. Again, didn't give up. I thought our kickoff return team did a good job. Of course, we had a few chances the other night to work on it. But I thought the kids played hard. I thought our kicker did a good job. I thought the opening kickoff, I thought on the field, I thought it was a missed call. I go back and watch it, and it's questionable. If it had been probably on our sideline, we would have probably got the ball. Being on theirs, they argued for it, and they got the ball over there. But it happened. So good football game. But I thought our offense kept plugging. Our defense kept plugging. They did some things that hurt us, and we're working on it out there right now. So hopefully get that stuff corrected and get ready for this next ball game.
Well, glad you answered that opening kickoff. I know Josh being up in the press box with us, him being a referee, he did say, it is a game that the referees, it's can be questionable. If they question it, they can make the call. From everybody in the crowd and everybody in the feed and everybody kind of tuned in is like, what happened? What's going on? So we know, I feel like that was a little bit of, kind of sucked a little bit of the air out to start the game off, because, it seemed like it was a picture-perfect start. We knew we had to come out and do something and get right on top of Decatur, because we know, by looking at film and looking at them throughout the season, they may not look the flashiest of teams on film, but they definitely go to grind, and they grind all game long.
Well, I thought, first of all, they play with class, and they play hard, they play aggressive. Springtown plays hard and aggressive, but I thought Decatur did a good job of playing with class and didn't mouth off. They just got out there and play football and play it the way it should be. I thought that first of all we knew we were not going to kick off to number 11. We were not going to punt it to him or kick to him. The kid's really good, and matter of fact, he's the one that scored the first touchdown against us. We knew they were going to try to get us offsides. We jumped offsides bigger than Dallas, and quarterback threw it up, and the kid caught it and took it into the house. So we were not going to kick the ball special teams wise to number 11. We wanted to keep it away from him. He's a good football player, very big and physical. We came out with that pooch right. I thought Polito did a good job of getting that ball good and high over there. I did not think that their returner was going to go for the ball. I thought he stood there, and the reason I didn't see him is that he took off. He went to a slide. He tried to slide under the ball. Well, Hall did a good job. He just caught the ball and kept right on running, and that's why I probably didn't see that returner. But the ball was kicked. I think the returner was frozen for a second. I saw him standing there. So my eyes immediately went to our kid. Our kid's focused on the ball. He catches it, but in the meantime, the returner who was there froze, and then he came sprinting and tried to slide underneath Hall and get that ball. So, again, I thought it was a questionable thing. He has the right to the ball. As a kickoff return, you have the right to the football, and you have to give them room there to get it. So, it's one of those things. It's close and kind of the gray area. On their sideline, they're going to get the call.
The homer call, it had me salty. Yeah. It had me pretty salty.
Well, I kept telling the official he missed it too, but he really didn't, and especially on their sideline.
Oh yeah. So the game. This is one thing I always say. I've been saying it all year long. It's kind of been my motto of every game, whether it's a win or it's a loss. The score didn't tell what happened in that game. It really honestly didn't. They did come out and jump out really early and continue to push. It seemed like we had to get our feet underneath us on defense before we could kind of fight back against it.
Well, I thought the quarterback did a good job. I thought they did a good job of riding that ball and throwing the slants. And needless to say, I think Coach Mcinellio and his guys are working this week on the slant. They ate us up with the slant. They ate us up the very first drive. They got us off sides, and we froze, and they threw the ball deep. They did it against our JV the night before. So I thought we'd be better prepared for it going into the very next night, and sure enough, the very first drive they got us. It was a third and long situation. We did a good job of stopping on the first two downs, and they got us right there in that third and long and scalded us on the offsides penalty there. So just little things you've got to fix and correct, and part of maturing as a football, not only a football team, but a program. Those are things you don't coach in a couple of days. It's a couple of years, and it just takes time to get your program to where the Decaturs are, the Springtowns are, and those type people. It's not a fly-by-night situation, and that's what we're working towards, Joy.
Definitely, and I could definitely see roster-wise, the maturity as far as grade-wise and the kids they had playing versus what we had playing. They're a much more mature team across their starting core on both sides of the ball, and we're still running some young guys in there. We could see some mistakes that were being made from the young guys, but for the most part, you saw a lot of potential that's going to continue to grow in this program as we move on to the next two games and we get into the next season as well. We got a bright future ahead of us for sure.
We do, and against Springtown, we started 4 sophomore offensive linemen. A couple of them had not played very much this year, especially on varsity. That's part of it. This last week we started 3 sophomore offensive linemen. So now they've got a couple of games underneath their belts. Those younger kids, and I say younger because Matthew Welch is a sophomore offensive lineman, but he's played every game except for one in there and done a good job for us. He understands the game of football and the speed of the game, the understanding of the plays, understanding those type of things. It takes time for a kid to understand that, especially the speed of the game, because you play against a freshman team, play against a JV team, and you're not the speed of the game is so much different at the varsity level. Playing against juniors and seniors who have had a couple of years of experience under their belts and going hard and I think we coach our freshmen and JV very hard. I was excited about having all 3 teams going up into the Wichita Falls Hershey game, and for reasons that were out of our hands as a coaching staff. And we had to pull up 8 kids on the JV to make a varsity that week. So proud of the kids for playing, but it's hurt us, and it's hurt our program, set us back a little bit here. But we're getting better and growing through it and continuing improving.
Most definitely, most definitely. And speaking of sophomores, I tell you what, that Damian Moore, that kid right there is just exciting. He's super exciting to watch. And it wasn't necessarily on the offensive side. It was a kick return. He's not a very big kid, but the kid is lightning fast and he's not afraid of a thing. He'll try to run through a brick wall if you put it in front of him. I just thought he did he did an amazing job on that kickoff, and you guys continue to use him on offense and special teams.
Sure, he's a good one for us, and of course he started off this year on the JV and was our quarterback there and did a good job for us, and that's one of the kids that's what I happened to bring up a while ago. He doing a good job for us, and he got thrown into the fire against Wichita Falls Hershey, a very physical football team. They came back the next week against Springtown and took some shots, and tough young man, because he took some shots that were where I was like, oh my goodness, but he got right back up. The other night he got bent over backwards once, and it worried me. I told his mom after the game it scared me, it worried me there, but he got right back up and kept going. So he's going to be a great one for us. He really is. Oh,
the greatness of youth to be able to bounce back from stuff like that. Well, we have old Vance Mcinellio here. We're going to let him hop on, and then I'll bring you back on, and we'll do a preview for this week. The one and the only.
Well, hello, Joey.
How we doing?
I'm okay.
It's a nice little crisp morning.
Yeah, beautiful.
Get things
day.
started.
Absolutely.
Because we know we're expecting this Friday night up in Burkburnett. It's supposed to be a little
gonna be chilly,
extra crispy.
Yeah, it'll be great. That is perfect for football. Heck, you get out there, you get hot. It's you can't beat this. This is about perfect right here.
Oh yeah. Well, Coach, to get into it, the man most people would say be under fire for having to answer for some stuff would be you and that defense. The defense, although I see it from a different view from being a homer and calling it, everybody else looks at it and is like, what's going on? We saw that I think it's Morales, number 11. That guy right there was just a guy that you knew they were going to every time, and he had such a difficult time getting out there and stopping that.
Well, yeah, and just like Coach Welch mentioned on that first play, over and over it, went over it in pregame multiple times. Just on the positive side there, we didn't jump off sides the rest of the game, but that was a big one. But an absolute perfect throw. An absolute perfect catch. Our kid was in fairly decent position. His technique could have been a little bit better, but he wasn't stopped or dead or didn't just give him a free throw and catch. He threw that ball right between the numbers and sidelines, right off that outside shoulder. He threw a heck of a football right there, and then losing. We had we lost a defensive lineman there for a little while, and that definitely that hurts. But number 11 was definitely a very skillful young man. He's a Division I, Division II kind of kid, and so is that quarterback. That quarterback, he throws the ball as well as anybody we've seen all year. The Springtown quarterback threw it hard and threw it good. But I think Howell, I believe was his name, from Decatur there, he was the best at not only having touch, placement. That's dropping a dime there on that one, the first touchdown, and he threw the deep ball really well. An incredibly quick release, almost Dan Marino-ish on his release. Just watching him. It's amazing how fast that ball is out. It's one of the best releases I've seen. But and a couple of times, quite a few times on the screens, we're there. We weren't physical enough. They out physicaled us a couple of times at the point of attack, and we've changed. We're going to change up some things and shore those up. Just we've got to get better. Got to get better there, and then the play action screens. They got us on that, and really think we've got that handled. We're going to be in a lot better shape there for sure. That just sometimes you get a personnel issue there, and just got to fix it. So working on it right now.
Oh yeah, You know, the one thing to take away from that, you know, you look at the score, people from the outside look at the score like, oh, my goodness, where was the defense at? The one thing people don't see is that Decatur is probably the most balanced offense that we'll see in football right now. I mean, I don't know of another team that is that balanced within 4 or 10 yards of passing and catch. But what happened this last Friday is we were able to pretty much shut down that run, other than one little burst up about a 25-yard run up the middle. Other than that one, we held them underneath, I think probably less than 5 yards of carry.
Oh, way under that.
Yeah, and so you didn't see the running that they did against most teams that you saw on film. So I want to congratulate you on that. That is a big thing to not overlook, is that be able to stop that run game.
I believe they had 37 rushes, and it was right at 100 yards. So, I mean, obviously, rush, you know, your average per carry was good. And, yeah, and the one we gave up right up the middle, just, you know, it's a kid hitting the wrong gap. You know, and I tell those kids all the time, if you hit the wrong gap, somebody's going to find it. It's usually the guy with the football. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we ended up with 2 guys in a B gap, nobody in an A gap, and man, but I'm telling you, it's just like water. It's going to find the crack, and it happens all the time. And we, you know, that was a bust by a kid who normally doesn't make those busts. But you know, we're got to just keep shoring everything up, and you know, get after it. We've got a big game with Burke coming, so.
Big game with Burke coming. And I know, let's touch on the special teams real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd mentioned Damian Moore a second ago, Coach Welch. It just seems like the special teams overall as a whole is continuing to collectively move as a unit, whether it's punt, whether it's, you know, punt return, kickoff, kick return. It seems like that the special team is continuing to click for Pulido. And I know he had one, he's had a few blocked this year. And as a kicker, to be able to take that and come back still with confidence every time says a lot about that kid and being able to come back and continue to fight through those.
Yeah, Abraham's done a great job. I don't, you know, that's really not my area. Coach Welch really handles the kickers and stuff like that. I mean, it takes a special person sometimes to deal with kickers, so it's kind of like pole vaulters. So I don't coach pole vaulters in track, and I don't coach kickers in football. So, but no, you know, as far as like our kickoff team, that's something I'm part of, and they've done a really good job. And Abraham has done a good job. Occasionally he gets overhyped and kicks it a little bit out of bounds, but directionally he's doing much better. He listens and he works hard. And then our punt return has really, you know, the last few weeks has really we've had some really good returns. I think we had another 24-yard return this week. And so, you know, the kids are buying in, doing a good job catching the football and not letting it hit. We had that problem last year of that ball hit, and, man, we'd lose, you know, instead of getting the ball on 25 or 30, you know, end up getting it to 5. That just limits your, you know, your offense, and I mean, just closes your playbook up. So, you know, we've done a much better job this year, and especially of late, of catching that football, and we're getting some blocks, and Nathaniel's doing a good job of returning the ball, and Roscoe's back there. If he doesn't get the ball, he's blocking. So that part is definitely much improved. Yep.
Well, Coach, we look forward to Burkburnett. I know you got some things you're working on to, you know, some things after every game that you see that you need to work on. So I know you guys have been working on those this morning. I'll let you get back to it.
Yep.
And I don't see Tracy Raines, so I guess we'll bring the other Tracy Welch, back over here. We'll bring you back over here. So we'll get you on the question, or just to talk a little bit about Pulido and your kicker, and just what he's been able to do, because he not only kicks for you, he punts for you, kicks field goals for you. You know, back in the day when I was here, you almost had a kicker for everything. It was a different guy for everything. So, but you guys have one solid guy around there, and like I was mentioning to Vance was. You know, he's had a few blocked this year, and a lot of times that can shut a kid down and get him nervous, and it seemed like he hasn't missed a beat.
Well, first of all, Pulido's doing a good job for us, and he did not start off as our punter this year. He started off as our kicker and did a good job there, and ended up taking the punting spot over. He's been player of the game now for several weeks, and out of 8 games, I think he's been there 4 or 5 there. So doing a good job for us. First of all, we directionally punt, and people don't always understand that. But if you look at our punt, what we give up punt wise, their punt returns, we've had one punt come back on us 7 yards. So out of all the punts, we've had 1 return. That's pretty darn good. So if you punt it 35 or 40 and they return it 10 or 15, your gain there is not real good. But if you punt it 25 or 30 and you get no punt return coming out of it, we think that's a good advantage on our part. Kicking wise, he's done a good job for us. He'll just continue getting stronger and stronger with his leg. He's only a sophomore again, so doing a good job with that. The thing he does well, and people have to game plan against us, is he has the good pooch kicks. He has the good onside kicks. We had an onside situation the other night, and I thought we should have had that ball. It was going across there. Their kid came up and hit it. The ball bounced out. We should have got that ball. Again, we scored 28 points the other night, and I felt good about that. We kept playing hard, and kept going. But back to Toledo, he had a situation the other night. We lined up to kick the field goal. Extra point wise, he was perfect. He was 4 for 4. We lined up for a field goal, and we do our shift, try to get them off sides. We snapped the ball a little too fast there, but the officials thought anytime you do a shift, you have to get set for a count. And actually, the extra point, the time before, we snapped the ball a little bit fast. So I thought they came back the next time on that field goal and threw the flag on us that time, and I thought that time was pretty good timing. Because I was showing our deep snapper the other day, Saturday morning. I said you got to hold it for a count, and that time didn't. It was right at a count. So I thought that they were a little fast to throw that flag. But I will say this: he missed the field goal. So it was actually to our advantage to be able to kick it a second time. Both of our kicks that have been blocked this year, our up back keeps moving his feet. So one thing we'll be working on this week is replacing that up back and getting somebody else in there that quits moving their feet. When you come off the edge out there, you can't move your outside foot, because when you move outside foot, it tightens the edge down. And playing against somebody with a good speed on the edge out there, they can get you. And they got us the other night. We pulled our foot up and it closed the edge down and again got us. So, but back to Toledo, he's done a good job for us, punting, kicking, extra points, field goals, and very proud of him and his future.
Yeah, and so Tracy, Rain's not here, so let's go over to offense a little bit. Tell me a little bit from the offense. We saw that it wasn't that we couldn't move the ball. We were able to move the ball. We were able to take advantage of some things. We do know there was unfortunate. I don't think there's any quarterback ever in the history of football when you're naked and you got a track shoe from behind, you're getting ready to throw the ball, and as soon as you bring that arm up, he comes down with that tomahawk slap. I think every quarterback's experienced a fumble in that way. It's not good, but at the same time,
it's part of life.
Yeah, it's part of the play.
And the thing that Caleb Welch understands, he is the quarterback, and when something goes bad, you stand out. As an offensive lineman, especially I put it like this: going against the old 5-man sled, you get 5 guys going across there. But if you're tired, you don't have to go very hard. Nobody knows, because you got 4 other guys going hard for you, or vice versa. Out there at the quarterback or running back, when you only got one person doing it, and something happens, you're glorified. As the kicker, as the punter, you're glorified. So it's kind of like, well, Toledo has 2 kicks blocked. No, really not his fault. It's our up back's fault for missing the block. So it doesn't go back to that. It's the glorified position. But first of all, we scored 28 points the other night. We scored 21 right there early, and I was proud of our kids. We kept fighting. We threw for 431 yards. We had the good trap up the middle that Damien went and scored on. So we had some good yards against a very good football team, which tells me that our offensive line is getting better and better with those sophomores in there and sophomore tailback in there, and we just keep plugging. And Coach Rain's doing a good job with he and the staff. That's why he's not here right now talking to us, is because they're out there. This is their team time. So we're getting ready for Burkburnett and doing what we got to do to get ourselves ready. And it's kind of like, defensively, there's things we have to correct, because I'm sure Burkburnett saw the things that stuck out that hurt us. Well, there's some things that we've seen that people do against Burkburnett that we're working on right now to do the same things. You find their weak spot in their chain and you try to attack that. So hopefully we can get that stuff in this week and get it going.
Yeah, right now, so Burkburnett was going to come into this Friday 0-2 in district, and the Bullfrogs are 0-3 in district. Two teams in district that don't have a win. It's a battle every Friday night, any which way you look at it. But this weekend is definitely a point of emphasis for the Bullfrogs because you got to win these last two to get that playoff spot. And so we look forward to seeing that. And is there any more added pressure with that, or is it just the same? Is it the same? Just preparation the same, or how they, the boys giving any feeling of how they feel moving in this Friday night?
Well, I told the team Friday night after the game, we're trying to build a program, Joy, and it's one of those things where it's day in, day out. You can't turn the light switch on overnight. Kids who show up to practice late, the kids who skip practice, the kids who are hurt on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and want to play on Thursday and Friday. It just don't work that way. So that's the stuff that we're trying to change, and we're doing a good job. A lot of the kids are buying into, and we're growing. I told the kids after the game Friday night, this is your ball club. This is your team. Only we hold our future in our hands. Nobody else holds our future. We've been blessed by getting to play every game. We haven't had the COVID-related sicknesses with our varsity, and so we haven't missed any games that way. We win this ball game. It puts us in the seat to win against Gainesville and make the playoffs. But am I really focused on that? I'm focused on building a program because right now we're focused on game to game. We're focused on minute to minute. We're focused on getting guys to practice. When you get that program built, you're not worried about that stuff. It comes natural. You don't think Decatur's worried about getting their kids to practice and playing hard. You don't think about Springtown getting their kids to practice and playing hard. It's just a way of life. And it's like going to work, making sure you're to work on time. It's like making sure you're taking care of your situation with your family and those type of things. So that's what we're trying to build and grow on. But to answer your question, the bottom line, yes, our future's in our hands. If we win this ball game, then we have a chance next week to put ourselves in playoff by beating Gainesville. So our future's in our hands, and only we control that.
Well, that's awesome, and I like to see that because whenever it's in somebody else's hands, it's never you can never assure it. So I know you guys have already looked over. You guys had a chance to do some scout film, look over Burkburnett. What are you guys expecting out of them this week?
They're going to play hard, and just like we're talking about to our kids, it's future's in our hands. Their future's in their hands, and they're going to be fighting and scrapping as well. Play them at their place. They're going to be the home team. It's going to be a little chilly, so who's going to be focused on the weather? Who's going to be focused on the obstacles that might be there? We have to go up there and play football. We've got to go up there and get after these guys and play hard and run the ball and play action and throw the ball and do all the things we can do. We got to stop them defensively, and we got to have a great kicking game this week. We've got to be able to put ourselves in situations on our punts and kickoff returns to get good yards and make the difference. And, one of the biggest things, I think, one of the biggest keys in the whole football game is the special teams, because when you punt it, there's no bigger play in football than that punt. Punting 35, 40 yards, 30, 35 yards to high school level with no return. That's a big change in field position right there. And so I think we're doing a good job with that, but we've got to have another good night Friday night with that.
Yeah, I believe so. We Bullfrogs, and I know I've talked to a lot of the boys afterwards, and they're just ready. Got that one behind them. They're ready to move on to the next one. That's one thing you guys have, I think, definitely sunk in here in this program is once the game's over on Friday night, whether it's a win, lose, or draw, you celebrate that night, or you get in your feelings that night, and then come Saturday morning, you're preparing for the next week.
It all starts over, and you got 48 minutes to play, lifetime to remember. So there's nothing you can do about that game. It's there, and you have to go to the next game. So Saturday morning, it starts all over. We've had some big wins when we've had some losses. Show me a happy loser, and I'll show you a loser. And just that's not part of our vocabulary. And I think our kids, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. So, for the overall most part, a lot of our kids hate to lose. And we're still changing the mentality on some of the other ones. And, I say that tongue-in-cheek because we're here as an education. Football, sports, extracurricular activities, whether it's football, band, cheerleading, choir, welding and ag, whatever it may be. We're here to connect these kids to something they enjoy doing in life, something they enjoy doing to bring them to high school and be successful. So that's what we're trying to build, and we're trying to build the game of life for these young men. So I'm proud of our coaching staff and proud of our kids where we're coming from, and we just got to keep growing hard and get better mentality.
That's right. Well, Coach, we look forward this Friday night. Burkburnett, is it 7?
7 o'clock.
Kicking that one off, yeah.
All district games are 7. So
all districts are 7. So 7 o'clock, Burkburnett. Go online, www.lwisd.org/athletics. It'll give you a link there to buy the tickets for Burkburnett. Go out there. Go get you a hotel. Come stay the night out there. Come watch the game. Support these boys. Support them live. Be there with them. Be there for them. If you can't, tune into the broadcast. Live on Bullfrog Radio on Facebook. Live on Bullfrog Football on MixLR. And live from Lake Worth ISD YouTube page.
we will have one JV game here that I think it's at 6 this Thursday. We had to combine our JV and freshman again this week because had some illnesses that happened. So one JV game here at 6 o'clock against Burkburnett, and then of course we're out there at varsity. So yep.
So come out and support that JV2 on Thursday night, 6 o'clock. Those kids right there are just one step away from being up on the varsity program as well. So you guys just tune in, watch out, come support the Bullfrogs, for them. But these boys are still looking forward to what's in front of them coming up this Friday night. So you guys tune in live. We'll go live at 6:30 p.m. live from Burkburnett as we prepare for the Bullfrogs to take on Burkburnett Bulldogs. I think it's another Bulldog team that we're facing for the 4th time this season. So, hey, we love you guys. We thank you all so much for your support. And as always, let's go Bullfrogs.